Okay, I thought I'd start this video outside here. This is about the solar system that we've made. And it's been doing pretty good for about 9 years now since I started with just a small 40-watt panel. It's increased a little bit. We're only up to 400 now. Definitely like to go bigger, but that'll all happen at some point. Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be talking about solar systems like I've got sitting behind me, and our journey into solar. And it's taken a few years, but yeah, it's not bad. Solar does work. Wintertime though, yeah, not so great. You might only get about 10% compared to what you would in the summer, but it does work. So if you're going to do it, make sure that you do have some sort of other backup. What I would like to try and do with this system is put a windmill on it and make it a hybrid system. That would hopefully help eliminate on the cloudy days, the windmill will take over. Hopefully, we'll see. Just to let everybody know, I am no electrician. None of this was sponsored. We paid for it all ourselves. Over about 9 years it's been building the system, but mainly because I didn't fully know what I was doing. This was quite the journey, and if we were on YouTube back then, I would have kept a document on the progress. A short slideshow of the progress we made over the last 9 years making of this system. Wish it was a lot quicker, but like I said, I didn't go with cheap parts, so it's been worth it, and it's still doing awesome. Thank you. Okay, so any of you that was on the live stream last night, that was the first night we put the internet fully on the solar. This is the next morning. As you can see, we've already got 13.3 volts and 4.4 amps going in. Not much, but this is only 9:30 in the morning, so that's actually not too bad. So we got that there. And then down here on this one, you can see we dropped down to 23% battery last night. It was fully charged when it went dark, so it used a fair amount of power. But we're charging up at 4.2 amps already. And as you can see, it's jumping around. But that happens, there's lots of clouds out there. So, not doing too bad. So, okay, so here we have our 4 panels. As you'll notice, that bottom one is black and is actually a little bit bigger in size than the other 3. That black one I bought 1 year. Then the next year I bought one more, and that's when it changed. And then the year after that I bought the other two to make it a grand total of 4 panels. Now I have 4. I made them so that they are wired up in parallel series, so that way we have 40 volts going into the house and only half the amps, so which meant smaller wire size. So now here we are at the back of the panels. As you can see, there's what we got. Model number and everything. All 4 are the exact same model number and everything, just they changed the model. As you can see, they are all going into this junction box here, 2 on each side. And then they head down that way to the ground and head inside. We'll show you that here in a few minutes. Okay, now we're inside, and the wire coming from the panels is this one right here. It's going into this fuse panel here, which is Midnight Solar, as you can see. Great company, they've been really good. So the power comes into the top here and goes through this 30 amp breaker. This one right beside here, the other 30 amp, is going to the batteries. This 10 amp is for loads. I didn't realize that the charge controller, the load, could actually handle 30. So it's underpowered, but that's fine. We don't use much more than 5 amps anyway, so that works. And then the 63 amp is for this inverter down here. So we'll get to that in a few minutes. So that's what I've got there. As you can see, there is a lot of wires in there. So then they go over here to the Midnight Solar charge controller. It's an MPPT, as you can see. Definitely recommend that. The reason for that is I said the panels coming in are running at quite often at about, has the 40 volts coming in, which means I only need half the amperage. So much cheaper on the wire front using a 10 gauge versus a 2 gauge. Very big wire would have cost a fortune. So if you got a long run to do, go with an MPPT. There's lots of them out there. Midnight Solar is a really good one. As you can see, we are fully charged. The load is on. And then we can flip through here. So now you got the input. See right now, we are currently at 35 coming in, 14.4 on the batteries. We can go even further. That I don't have. There's the load running 1.5 amps at the moment. And there's what we've done today alone. 0.3 kilowatt, 26 amp hours. Not bad for a mostly cloudy day. The other part I like about this is it is fully programmable. So when you get your batteries, you check the stats and you can set this charge controller to run exactly to any battery manufacturer you buy. Very handy, makes it so much better. This one can actually be used for windmills as well. That's why the cooling fins and that. There is some really big capacitors and that in there. This is definitely a high quality. You pay for it though. Then right beside it here, we have another Midnight component. This one's not any use to us now that we've gone lithium. This is, as you can see, battery state of charge. It is still hooked up and running off of this system. Doesn't do much, but it does let us see it real quick if there is a problem. That outlet here, that goes down along there, as you can see, and goes over to this inverter. Now this is only a 300 watt inverter, but I bought it specifically because it's best at 100 watts. It's about 96% efficient, really high efficiency on it. So, and it's much better for electronics and some fridges and stuff, but I wouldn't run a fridge on this. They pull more than 300, but get a bigger one, it would. So as you can see, they focus strictly on the inverter components. You got to buy everything else. So, and if you notice, there is this opening. It's because I'm going to be putting this switch so you can turn on and off the inverter instead of turning it on and off by the breaker. This panel here is hooked up to the charge controller on the load, as you saw up there. So you got every positive line is fused. There's 6 lines there. There's one going to the master bedroom for strip lights. There's one here in the basement running some lights so we can see all the time. There's one running to the living room, which runs some USB outlets to charge devices and stuff right off the solar, plus some strip lights behind the TV as well. There's another line running up into a closet, which is running 2 controllers for strip lights that we use at night. One is set to a timer. They're used like a night light. They're in between the kids' bedrooms and right above the bathroom. So power goes out and they can see their way out. Okay. So then, like I said, that inverter, it's a really good one, low powered, but it works great. And then you got right beside it your typical Canadian Tire 1000-watt inverter. It's a pure sine wave as well. As you can see, there's 2 outlets and stuff on the back side of it. Yeah, we cannot use that one right now due to our batteries, because our batteries don't have a high enough amperage output that we would actually harm the batteries. If it wasn't for the BMS that's in lithium batteries, it would shut it down. So we're not using that right now. When eventually, hopefully, when I get some bigger batteries, we will. Okay, so now we go down here, and as you can see, I got a big battery switch here. Goes over to this side of the positive wires. As you can see, they run up into the different inverters. Well, for that one, it goes up to that 63 amp and then comes right back down to the inverter. So that one's fused. As you can see, the big one is not fused. I really need to fuse that. You've got the negative on this side, which goes through this shunt, which is telling us right here that we're at 14.2 volts and no amps going in right now or out. We're using the power that the solar panels are making currently. But that's what this does. It measures right down to how much power you're using or generating into the batteries. Works pretty good. So I would like to get maybe a more accurate one, maybe one with Bluetooth or something, so then I don't have to come right here and check on it all the time. But that's fine. So then the wires come down, and as you can see, yes, I do go from a big gauge battery cable down to a small one to go to these lithium batteries. It's not the best thing to do, but it works for me, and there is no way we would pull more power than those small wires can handle. So it works just fine. As you can see, the negative comes around and connects to the back one here, and the positive one connects up at the front. I did it crossways. They say it's better when you're joining multiple batteries. I honestly couldn't tell you. I have not done enough to know if that actually matters or not. See, in the positive, it's the same thing. It goes up into the bigger one, which then comes up through there and in through the battery cutoff switch. And yes, that is a smart charger there. Like I said, in the wintertime, you don't get as much power. I had to run it several times through December, January, and February to keep the lights going, mainly because, like I said, there's just so much cloud cover and the days are so short that you just don't get enough some days. So I do have to charge every once in a while. Now that we're coming in the spring, I haven't had to use that charger in about a month at least. It's been doing very well. So there's the system down here. So, and it's on a little board I made. Well, cabinet actually, as you can see. And there's the big batteries down there that I was using, that this cabinet was made for. They are not being used anymore because, they ran for the last 7 years and they're just done. They're flooded lead acid. I just got to get rid of them properly. So be doing that here soon. Okay, as you can see up here, there's one of the lights I was talking about down in the basement. So that one's working really well there. And then if I go over here, up the stairs. I got one on the stairs as well. Whoop, right there, so that way we can see the stairs even in the dark with main power out. And if you notice, there's our internet router and our D-Link stuff right here. There's the solar stuff right there. So it's really easy to switch back and forth when we can and if we need to. Okay, and here we are in the master bedroom, and as you can see, I've got strip lights across the back of the TV. That's our main light here in the bedroom. It's more than enough for a bedroom, unless you need to get dressed. Then you need an overhead. Okay, we are now upstairs, and inside this closet is those controllers I was talking about. You can see they come out the hole there. I just turned these on ahead of schedule, but as you can see, there's son's room, bathroom, and daughter's room. So the lights work really nicely up there. We run them all the time. Then we come around the corner here, and there's a set in the living room. Across the entire living room. So they're on the solar too. Then if we come back here to the back of the TV, as you can see, there's another set back there, all powered on the solar. These lights are all controlled by this little touchscreen controller here. Works awesome. We're using all 4 zones, so not too bad. And then we have this down here, which is our solar. As you can see, it's showing the battery power switch, 2 USBs, and a regular car outlet, which we actually still use. That one USB goes up here and is keeping our Bluetooth charger, our Bluetooth speaker charged up. And then that other one is going up here and is running our plant growers. Working very great. Don't use much power, so that's awesome. As for our batteries here, they're eco-worthy, 12 volt, 30 amp hours each. So they're going to be 60 amp hours in total, which is a fair amount of power, but much rather have 100 amp hour or more. And these batteries, I've been running them for a year now. Absolutely no issues. Straight out of the box, got them fully charged, and they've just worked. I have tripped the BMS safeties, so they do work. I don't know about the cold temp, but I never planned on putting these in cold enough temperatures to worry about that. Okay, so there you have it. There's our fairly basic system. We mostly just use it for backup. One thing I didn't mention is I've gotten a 12 volt water pump that I can hook to this to keep our sump pump running when it's really wet out. It's not worrying about it right now, so I'll wire that up later. Other than that, if you got any questions, just mention it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want more details or whatever, just give us an email or whatever, and I can show you what I want, what I think is works great. I do have more higher end stuff. I haven't done much testing on anything else, but maybe someday I will. I wouldn't mind getting an all-in-one. There's quite a few really nice all-in-one units now. There is another device that I would like to get for this system. It's an automatic transfer switch that hooks to the batteries. When the batteries get too low, then it'll switch back over to grid, which I would love to put the internet stuff on. So then that way we wouldn't have it to do it manually and then wait for the boot up times and all that. You know what I'm talking about. So, but there we have it. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.